Sydney Beauty Lions taking on your belts up Perth Wheelcats. A little bit of the second half here on the men's court. Can we get a big cheer for your belts up Perth Wheelcats? Big second half coming up. Kicks them off. Stay in the Wheelcat ball. Thank you once again. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Ghana Basketball Centre. Round 4 of the NWBL 2025 season. It's game 3 for Sunday morning. Sydney Uni Lions taking on your belts up Perth Wheelcats. Officially introducing the two teams in our course, starting with visiting Sydney Uni Lions. Number 6, Rose Holloman. 7, Bidem Yildirim. 10, Anna Don. 11, Tracy Brothers. 14, Rita El Kasem. 15, Stephanie Van Leeuwen. 21, Tani Volma. 22, Patricia Luck. 26, Salen Reedy. Number 35, Michaela Dumarena. Team manager for the Lions, Martin Michael. Assistant coach Hannah Dodd. And head coach Alan Cox. Time to get ready for a Sunday morning. Let's welcome your belts up Perth Wheelcats women's squad number 2. That's the Keep the Fitness NWBL. Ben Moncrief, who won't be shooting to. He'll be a baseline ball.
A very good morning to you from Floreat in Western Australia, the Bendat Basketball Centre, the centre of a double-header weekend in wheelchair basketball with both men's and women's fixtures going on. The Perth Wheelcats in the men's competition playing against the Southern District Spartans on the far court as you're watching this on the live stream. They have split the weekend 1-1 before today. But your broadcast today, your commentary will come from the Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League between the built-up Perth Wheelcats, who are warming up to the right of the screen as you see it, and the Sydney Uni Lions. The Sydney Uni Lions have taken the series at 2-0 after a massive first win on Saturday morning, 64-34. It was a closer game last night, 46-42. So game 3 it is today, with the Wheelcats looking for some sort of payback, if you like, to get on the board. They're down 2-0 on the weekend and wanting to at least come away from a home series with a little bit of glory. Keep an eye out on number 6 for the Sydney Uni Lions in the yellow and blue stripes. Number 6 is Rose Holloman. She's an international player. She's represented Team USA at 3 Paralympic Games and come away with a gold, a silver and a bronze. So she's got the full set from Paralympic Games. It is an amazing story of Rose Holloman. She is a credit to American basketball, American Paralympic basketball, but it is so good to have these type of players in the National Wheelchair Basketball League, men's and or women's, to have a player of her calibre coming in. She scored 42 on Friday night in the first game and was kept to 17 points in a 4-point win to the Sydney Uni Lions in Game 2 played last night. Now it's Game 3. We'll see what Michelle Swain, the head coach of the built-up Perth Wheelcats, can do to restrict the scoring of Rose Holloman. As I said, she's already got 59 points on the weekend, which is an incredible effort. 42 points in Game 1 and restricted to 17 last night. The game's about to get underway. We're 40 seconds away, having a look at the starters for the two teams. For the built-up Perth Wheelcats, the starters coming out on the court will be Sarah Vinci, Laura Gillis, Georgia Inglis, Tasha Ovens and Ebony Stevenson. And for the Sydney Uni Lions, Rose Holloman, Hannah Dodd, Tracy Carruthers. We've got young Van Leeuwen out there as well, and Talon Reedy in 26. Tracy Carruthers will take the tip. Sarah Vinci rolls through the keyway. It's not going to be her to take the tip. Laura Gillis will go in to confront Tracy Carruthers. So we're about set to go. And we're underway at Bendat Basketball Centre with the Lions taking possession. First possession, this time through Rose Holloman's into Carruthers for the first score. 2-0 underway. So the Wheelcats now in defence. Bring the ball up through their captain, Tasha Ovens. Ovens brings it into the front court now, looking for options. Out on the right-hand side, she has Ebony Stevenson. Stevenson back to Ovens. Ovens across to Georgia Inglis. Off the glass, bounce. It's short. And a 24-second shot clock violation. No control after the ball hit the glass. It did not hit the ring, so no possibility of a reset. Just need to chase the ball down. Tasha Ovens does that, gives it to the referees, and we'll restart in the back court. Inbound now for the Sydney Uni Lions. The ball is with Holloman. Holloman on the elbow, holding the ball up, looks for and finds Hannah Dodd, an Australian representative. Dodd again, this time misses with the shot, can't get the rebound. Talon Reedy gets it instead. Reedy looks for and finds Holloman. Holloman confronted by a couple of players, gets it across the court, and shot clock violation at the other end. So two play phases, neither team can get the ball in the hole. So still 2-0 in favour of the Sydney Uni Lions. Carruthers, the only scorer on the board at the moment. This is Inglis for Perth. Inglis looks for options, has Gillis, but falls short, and Rose Holloman gets the last touch on it before it goes out of court. It'll be a Perth Wheelcats ball. Holloman destroys the signage on the side of the court, puts it back by herself. No assistance required. So Perth with 14 seconds on the clock. Inglis looking for options. The Sydney Uni defence holding strong here at the moment, keeping the Wheelcats out of play. Inbound pass finds Stevenson, and Stevenson gets two. It's all locked up here, two apiece. This is Hannah Dodd. Dodd looking for teammates that are open. Getting some help from a seat. Takes the long-range shot from just inside the arc. It hits the ring and bounces away. Cleaned up by Stevenson to Inglis. Inglis now rolling into the front court. Confronted by Steph Van Leeuwen. The pass intended for Stevenson, knocked away, but finally reaches Stevenson. Inglis now from the free throw line. Hits the front of the ring and bounces away. Hannah Dodd cleans up for the Lions. And they're away. Getting into the front court now. And there's plenty of wheelchair banging in there. This is Carruthers. Carruthers from the elbow looking for options. Has Dodd wheeling around. She takes the long-range shot. No, she doesn't. She goes across the keyway to Holloman. Holloman hits the front of the ring and bounces away. She hasn't scored yet. 59 for the weekend and nothing in the first 2.5 minutes here. Now, in possession through Inglis. Inglis, just outside the arc, finds Gillis. Gillis from just inside the free throw line. Hits the ring and bounces away. Rebounded by Carruthers. Off to Holloman. Holloman into the front court. Strong on the left side and the right. She's three-time Paralympic medalist for the Team USA. Steph Van Leeuwen now. Confronted by Vinci. Finds Talon Reedy. Reedy over the top of the ring. Cleaned up by Gillis. Gillis to Stevenson. Stevenson races into the front court with help on the screen from Georgia Inglis. Inbound pass to Inglis is knocked away by Holloman. Gillis now with the ball. Time's down to 10 seconds. Inbound pass. Looking for Tasha Ovens. It's knocked away by the defence from Sydney Uni Lions. And now Carruthers in the front court. Only has Holloman in front of her to help, and she's providing a screen. Hannah Dodd now, and the ball knocked away by Georgia Inglis from the Wheelcats. Shot clock down to 7 seconds, and Carruthers will have the inbound pass. No, it's not Carruthers. It looks like it's Hannah Dodd. Look for the inbound pass. Dodd looks for and finds Rose Holloman. Holloman with the shot clock running down, confronted by defence. Gets into the keyway and puts the shot up. Off the glass, doesn't go. Rebounded by Stevenson. Stevenson confronted by Holloman. Gets the ball out to Gillis. Gillis loses control of the ball. And a backcourt violation. Couldn't get the ball into the front court in the 8 seconds. So it'll be a turnover ball. Substitution called. And Amber Merritt, who became a mum inside the last month, wheels on and gives Laura Gillis a rest. Amber Merritt herself a multi-Paralympian representing the Australian gliders. Rose Holloman, long-range shot, bounces off the front of the ring and cleaned up by Amber Merritt. Merritt made a comeback in game 1 of this series. 12 minutes on court without scoring. Managed to get some points on the board last night with 12 in the 4-point defeat by the Lions. This game's all tied up. We're coming towards the halfway mark of the first period, and it's just 2 points each. Tight defence and maybe some tired bodies out there. Can't get the ball to fall in the hoop, but Rose Holloman does. Starts her scoring. So the Lions lead 4 points to 2. as we cross over the halfway mark of this first period at the Bendat Basketball Centre. In Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League, brought to you by the Beluga Foundation. Stevenson has 4. The Wheelcats have 4. The Sydney Uni Lions have 4. There's 4s all over the place, but Stevenson has all the points for the belt-up Perth Wheelcats as the scores are level. Dodd finds Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen off to Holloman. Holloman all by herself. Not going to get the long-range shot off. Puts it to Dodd from the free-throw line. Hits the front of the ring, the back of the ring, and bounces away. Cleaned up by Inglis. Slowing the pace of the ball down. There's no run and stun in this game. It's game 3 of it. Tayshia Ovens not ready for that one. The ball hit her hand and bounced away. Cleaned up by the Lions defence. Dodd, long-range pass into the front court. Finds Holloman. Holloman to a very open Steph Van Leeuwen. To an equally own Talon Reedy, but the ball bounces away out of court. There's a deflection. That's why the ball did not get to Reedy.
2 from 2 at the line, 54-47.
Substitution for the Sydney Uni Lions and wheeling onto court for her first minutes in the game 3. Rima El Qasim comes in. This is Reedy. Reedy to El Qasim. Off the glass, gets her own rebound, puts the putback, hits the glass and falls safely into the hands of Amber Merritt. Merritt releases Stevenson into the front court. The ball finds its way to Merritt. Merritt around the left-hand side of the keyway, down to the baseline. Low post off the front of the ring and rebounded by Steph Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen now off to the right-hand side. Hannah Dodd. Dodd with Tayshia Ovens in front of her, blocking her access to the keyway. Gets some help from Van Leeuwen for the long-range shot. Dodd's shot bounces away off the iron. Still 4 apiece in the opening period here in Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League. Perth Wheelcats 4, Sydney Uni Lions 4. Merritt, quick hands through to Ebony Stevenson. Can't get this one to fall. Dodd cleans up and releases Reedy. Reedy inbound pass, finds Holloman. El Qasim is tipped out of the chair and will need a bit of assistance to get back on the court, on her chair. The assistant comes from Rose Holloman. Michelle Swain, in the meantime, has asked for and receives the first time out of the game. 2:54 left in this opening period. It's 4 apiece. And Rose Holloman has 2. Tracy Carruthers has 2 for Sydney Uni Lions. For the built-up Perth Wheelcats, Ebony Stevenson has all 4 points. On a weekend where the Sydney Uni Lions have won 2 from 2 in a big win on Saturday. It was 64-34 in the first game. The second game, 46-42. But 2 from 2 for the Sydney Uni Lions as we head into game 3. And a welcome back to the Perth Wheelcats this weekend to Amber Merritt, who, as I said, has recently, inside the last month, become a mother for the first time, giving birth to young Charlotte. And she's spent a couple of minutes on the court now in game 3. It is a tied ball game here, 4 apiece, as we come out of the timeout. So after the timeout, it'll be a Sydney Uni ball from the backcourt. Inbound pass from Dodd, knocked away by Tayshia Ovens. And a backcourt violation this time to Sydney Uni Lions. Turnover. Tayshia Ovens with the ball, bounce pass into Georgia Inglis. Inglis to the top of the keyway, looking for options. Has Stevenson rolling through the keyway. Amber Merritt, baseline. Goes to shots, it's short on that, goes underneath the basket. Cleaned up by Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen to Reedy. Reedy bounce pass to Holloman. Holloman to El Qasim into the front court, and that'll be a blocking foul on Tayshia Ovens. Oh, my mistake. That's called an offensive foul by El Qasim. a charge. Need to get her back on the wheels. A little bit of help from Hannah Dodd. Here we go. And also from Georgia Inglis and Sarah Vinci. It's the Lions player back on the court. With a ripple of applause from the crowd. Perth 4. Lions 4. 2.5 minutes to go in this opening period of Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League, and another player on the floor. This time it's Amber Merritt. Back in the day when, before Charlotte, BC, Amber would have just stayed in the chair and got up, but maybe a little bit weakened by childbirth. And she steps out of the straps herself into the chair and locks back in. Ebony Stevenson taking a rest, and Sarah Houston comes on for her first minutes of game 3. So gone tall with Houston and Merritt in the front court. Conversely, the Sydney Uni Lions have tall players as well. This is Holloman. The blocked shot coming from Tani Volmer, who's come into the game to provide some height and help to Holloman. That's gone out of the court, out of the hands of Sarah Vinci, so the Lions will have still control of the ball with 8 seconds left on the shot clock and just 1:59 on the game clock. So Hannah Dodd into Holloman. Holloman, long-range shot off the front of the ring, bounces away, cleaned up by Vinci. Vinci to Ovens. Ovens heading into the front court now. No danger of the backcourt violation this time. Finds Houston. Houston off the back of the ring, bounces away Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen releases Dodd into the front court for the Sydney Uni Lions. Lots of Lions on trail coming in to help now. Volmer provides a screen, but the ball's passed away and Vinci cleans up. In front of Inglis. Bit of Ovens to Houston. Houston gets it, and for the first time in this game, the belt-up Perth Wheelcats lead 6 points to 4 inside the last minute of this opening period. Rose Holloman now. Just beyond the free throw line. Backs away out to the right-hand side. Looks for Volmer under the basket. Puts the ball up and misses. Bounces out of court. It'll be a Wheelcats ball. 40 seconds left and 2 points is the margin. 6 points to 4 in a tight tussle at the Bendat Basketball Centre. As we head back into the front court and the final seconds of this opening period. Taysha Ovens looks for options, has Amber Merritt under the ring, off the glass, misses, gets her own rebound, gets blocked from behind by Holloman, and the ball goes out of court, off Holloman's hand, with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. It'll be the Wheelcats to inbound the pass, and Ovens finds Inglis. Inglis, with the shot clock running down, puts it up off the front of the ring. Gets another 14 if the Wheelcats can get the ball. They will, but from the sideline. So Wheelcats in control of the ball at the moment, if not the game. 14 seconds on the shot clock. It's about a second differential between the shot and the game clock. Ovens now looks for Merritt. Merritt under the basket. Holloman did enough from behind to put that shot off. Cleaned up by Dodd. Dodd releases Holloman, which could be the last play of the game. Runs out of time before she can get control. And that shot, that score will not count. And it is quarter time at the Bendat Basketball Centre with the score, the Wheelcats, 6 points to 4 leaders. They've had a slender lead in this game. And as I said, the points have come from Georgia Inglis with 2 and Ebony Stevenson with 4, and the 4 points for the Sydney Uni Lions come from Tracy Carruthers, got the scoring underway, and Rose Holloman, who has had a big weekend with 42 points in game 1 and 17 in game 2. 2 so far. She's got half the scoring for the Sydney Uni Lions. Final game of a big weekend of basketball, wheelchair basketball here in the West at the Bendat Basketball Centre, where the Perth Wheelcats men's and women's teams have been host to 6 games over the weekend. The men have been playing against the Southern District Spartans, and from here it looks like they're going to wheel away with a win, perhaps. They lead in the fourth quarter, 60-54, but on this court, it's a 2-point ball game at quarter time, 6 points to 4 in favour of the Belt-Up Perth Wheelcats. You can find all the news, views, fixtures, results, and links to live stream games throughout the season on the interweb at www.wba.net.au. If you're on the socials, like many people are these days, you can find wheelchair basketball on Facebook, on Instagram, and just put it in your search engine in your social media platform, Wheelchair Basketball Australia, and you can follow along, join the group, follow the group, and get all the news and views. And as I said, from the interweb, wba.net.au. The live stream links are all there, and you can follow them either from the WBA site or take the link across to the YouTube channel, where you can see all the games with or without live commentary, or commentary provided on the game. Meanwhile, second quarter action is back underway. Huge bang coming from court 2 as a wheel pops over there. Game 1 continues over here. It is still 6 points to 4. As the Wheelcats take a long-range shot, which bounces away safely. Holloman controlling the ball, goes left side, back in towards the middle, confronted by Ebony Stevenson, has Hannah Dodd open on the right side, and she opens her scoring. So the scores are level, 6-6. A minute gone into the first period. It is the Wheelcats in charge of the ball at the moment through Taysha Ovens. Ovens confronted by Dodd. Looks for and finds Stevenson. Stevenson with 4 of the 6 points. Goes to the baseline, off the glass, and she has 6. 6 points to Stevenson, 2 points to Inglis. They're the scorers for the Wheelcats. Scorers are spread across for the Lions, but it's a long-range shot just inside the arc from Dodd. She gets another 2 and ties it up. Dodd the leading scorer now for the Sydney Uni Lions. 8-8 for this game 3. The Sydney Uni Lions have won the first and the second games, and the margin's been closer and closer. Michelle Swain's team looking good in game 3. As Laura Gillis gets her first points and brings that lead back out to 2. 4 points apiece in this opening part of the second period. Scoring was difficult in the first. Lots of defence, lots of missed shots. The range seems to be found now by all the scorers. And we've got 8 points already in the opening 2.5 minutes, where in the first period we only had 10 total between the two teams. 10 points to 8. Gillis from just out inside the keyway. The sound of the Perth rain on the roof here at Bendet Basketball Centre. The Lions shot bounces away. It's cleaned up by Sarah Vinci. And we've got player down. Not a says we need help. So we've got Eb Stevenson down, and she'll need a bit of assistance getting back up. She's unstrapped the legs to give herself some leverage, and she was back on her wheels, just like that. Coming into the game now for the Sydney Uni Lions, Tracy Carruthers back on, giving Tracy Vollmer a rest. So Carruthers, who opened the scoring in the opening 2 minutes of this game, the first period. So Eb Stevenson's back and strapped into the chair. We'll resume from the side for an inbound pass from Inglis to Ovens. Ovens takes the long-range shot, hits the front of the ring, bounces away and cleaned up by Holloman, the US Paralympian. Wondering if she'll be off to 2028 Paralympics. Time will tell. Tracy Carruthers gets more points. She's on 4 now and reduces the margin back to the 2-point ball game. Stevenson now with the ball for the Belt-Up Perth Wheelcats. Loses control and stolen away from Hannah Dodd. Has Carruthers top of the arc. Holloman wheeling away through the keyway. Gets herself into open space. Turns Vinci inside out. Back to Dodd from the free throw line, and the scores are level, 12 apiece. In the Bendet Basketball Centre in Floreat in the western suburbs. A very wet Floreat this afternoon, by the look of it. Looking through the high windows here, you can see the rain falling, and if we didn't have the speakers directly above us, you could hear the rain on the roof of the Bendet Basketball Centre as we broadcast from high above court number 1. 12 points apiece. We've got a substitution as Laura Gillis comes out of the game and Amber Merritt rolls back in. So the 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Inbound from Ovens to Inglis. Right hand long range shot, nothing but net. That's 2 from 2 from out there for Georgia Inglis, and takes it back out to a 2-point lead to the Wheelcats. Heading towards halfway through this second period. And it's a 2-point ball game. We've got a travel called. Hannah Dodd, unusual for a player of her talent and experience, called for the travel, and a timeout called, this time by Alan Cox for the Sydney Uni Lions. Let's talk this out. Rose Holloman having a bit to say. She wants to maybe get some her thoughts to the teammates. A girl of her experience, she'd listen to that. Meanwhile, Michelle Swain pointing out what she wants done from her guards through Inglis, Ovens and Vinci. Amber Merritt talking to the talls with Laura Gillis on her left. Ebony Stevenson doing some running repairs on her chair during the timeout. And Michelle Swain pointing out what she wants to get from the guards and the playmakers, the backcourt players in Inglis, Ovens and Vinci. Natalie Alexander listening in on both conversations, the talls and the smalls. And we'll come out of the timeout with a 2-point lead to the Be Active, not the Be Active anymore, the Belt-Up Perth Wheelcats. And there'll be a Sydney Uni Lions ball, I believe. No, it'll be a Perth Wheelcats ball. And we'll start in the backcourt. So inbound pass comes from Inglis to Ovens. Let's see if the plays designed by Michelle Swain and the timeout will come to fruition. Ovens holds the ball up, finds Inglis out on the left side. Vinci providing a screen. Back to Ovens. Inbound pass to Stevenson off the glass. She's the game high scorer. She now has 8 points out of the 16. This is Rose Holloman. A quiet game by her standards. The Wheelcats have done a lot of due diligence after game 1. Kept her quiet. 17 points only in game 2 in a 46-42 win. Hannah Dodd Looks like the go-to girl, plan B, or plan D for Dodd in this case. And 2 points. Narrows the gap back to 16-14. Ovens confronted by Dodd. To Inglis into the front court in time. Stevenson, bounce pass, releases Inglis out to the left. Out to her favourite shooting spot. Inside to Sarah Vinci. Over the top of the ring. Cleaned up by Carruthers. Carruthers to Holloman. Holloman wheeling left side. Has Reedy out on the right. Doesn't use her. Hannah Dodd is double teamed by Ovens and Merritt. Leaves Carruthers open. Steph Van Leeuwen crashes into Amber Merritt and loses control of the ball out of court. 4 seconds left on the court, on the shot clock. 3:54 left to half time. And Hannah Dodd finds to Holloman. Holloman with the clock running down, releases off the front of the ring. Steph Van Leeuwen gets a hand in there as the Wheelcats try to get this ball into the front court in time. Running out of time, gets the ball over in time according to the referees. Inglis now to Vinci off the glass for 2. Restores a 4-point lead, 18-14. Once the Wheelcats took the lead in the late stages of the first period, they have not given it up. 18-14. Inbound pass looking for Carruthers. Bounces off her hands and cleaned up by the Wheelcats. This is Inglis coming right side. Wheels into the inside the 3-point arc, just outside the keyway to Stevenson off the glass. Stevenson racking up the points here as the Wheelcats hit the 20s. 20 points to 14. A 6-point lead. This time it's Hannah Dodd. Dodd, with help from Van Leeuwen at the top of the key, finds Holloman from long range, just inside the 3-point. She lobs in another 2, narrows the gap to 4. Inglis releases Ovens. And Merritt making a big lead down the left-hand side, confronted by Holloman. She leaves the keyway open for Ovens. Off the glass, doesn't go. Merritt this time off the glass, and she gets her first points. Holloman now, inbound pass. The Wheelcats leading 22-16 with 2 and a bit minutes left to half-time. Hannah Dodd, the go-to girl at the moment, with Holloman being very well held by the Wheelcats' defence. Dodd, though, point game, and we're into the last 2 minutes of the first half. 22 points to 18. Inglis giving instructions as she brings the ball into the front court. Looks for and finds Stevenson, who's fouled under the basket. Well, that foul is going to have been called on Steph Van Leeuwen. So not in the act of shooting. So baseline ball. There's Stevenson into Inglis. Inglis working her way around, confronted by Carruthers. It's sitting tall in the chair, makes life difficult for the shot. Ovens at the free throw line, gets the shot away with 5 on the shot and is fouled this by Van Leeuwen again. 2 quick fouls to Steph. And Tasha Ovens will go to the charity stripe, shooting 2. There's 1:33 left on the clock. No movement from the sidelines to take Steph Van Leeuwen off, sitting on 2 fouls. Ovens makes the first, 23-18. And the second bounces away. Cleaned up by Hannah Dodd. Dodd to Van Leeuwen, confronted by Merritt. Gets the bounce pass away to Carruthers. Carruthers to Holloman. Holloman holds the ball up to Dodd, wheeling forward to the free throw line. Confronted by Merritt. Forces her to change her mind. Wheels away to the top of the key to Van Leeuwen to Carruthers. Carruthers with the left-hand shot is short and cleaned up by Amber Merritt. Merritt to Inglis. Inglis into the front court now for this Beluga Foundation's Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League game. between the hosts, the Belt Up Perth Wheelcats, and the Sydney Uni Lions. It is 23 points to 18. Three Sydney Uni players. It's been Rose Holloman wheeling away from Amber. Fadeaway jumper doesn't go. Merritt now with a bounce pass into the front court for Tayshar Ovens. Rose Holloman deflected her shot and it's cleaned up by Anna Dodd under the basket. Dodd to Holloman. Holloman right wing confronted by Merritt. To internationals. And once again, we've got a player who needs help getting back on her wheels. This time it's Hannah Dodd. Gets some help from Talon Reedy. It is a sideline ball with 2.8 seconds left in the first half. So you'd think catch and shoot. Dodd to Carruthers from the high post off the glass, and that's it for half-time. Where we see the Belt Up Perth Wheelcats leading 23 points to 18. And a quick look as we go into half-time at who's doing what. For the Perth Wheelcats, we have 4 points to Laura Gillis, 4 points to Georgia Inglis, 2 points to Sarah Vinci, 2 points to Amber Merritt, 1 to Tayshar Ovens from the line, but leading the way is Ebony Stevenson with 10. That's your 23. So the leading rebounders on the court at this stage, you have 4 apiece to Georgia Inglis and Sarah Vinci, the 2 guards. For the Sydney Uni Lions, their 18 points have come from Hannah Dodd with 10. She's also got 7 rebounds in there as well, and an assist to go with that. And other than the 10 points for Hannah Dodd, 4 to Tracy Carruthers, and 4 to Rose Holloman. So there's the 18 points. It is half time at the Bendat Basketball Centre. 23 points to 18 in favour of the home side, who have lost the series 2-0 going into game 3, but they're not giving this one away without a fight. Welcome back to the live stream commentary from the Bendet Basketball Centre in the very damp western suburbs of Perth as the weather fronts continue to roll in. The weather has certainly closed in around here. It's very, very gloomy outside at the moment, but inside, bright sunshine as the Perth Wheelcats are leading this game by 5 points. 23 points to 18 at the long break in game 3 of 3 this weekend. First game, they went down by a lot, 64-34, mainly thanks to Rose Holloman, the American Paralympian, with 42 points in game 1. Game 2, a closer affair, 46-42 to the Sydney Uni Lions. Again, Holloman leading the scorers with 17. But today, for the Sydney Uni Lions, it's all Hannah Dodd. She's the only one in double figures with 10 points out of their 18. And the Perth Wheelcats, the Belter Perth Wheelcats, are leading in game 3. We did say in the opener that Michelle Swain and the Wheelcats would be looking to redeem something out of this weekend. You don't want to go down 3-0, not at home. So at this stage, they're doing the right thing by the coach. Alan Cox having a chat with his players as we wind the clock down to the start of this second half. 20 minutes of play left for the whole weekend. In the early game on court 2 in the men's national 3 between the Perth Wheelcats and the Southern District Spartans. Coming into today's game, the series was split 1 apiece, and game 3 went the way of the home side, the Perth Wheelcats, by 8 points, 78 points to 70. So the Wheelcats taking that series 2-1. So seeing if the Perth Wheelcats in the women's competition can make it a 2-1 series as well. They are 20 minutes away from achieving their first win for the weekend. And as the players come back on court for the Lions, it's Hannah Dodd, Talon Reedy, Steph Van Leeuwen, Tracy Carruthers and Rose Holloman. And for the Wheelcats, Ebony Stevenson, Georgia Inglis, Sarah Vinci, Laura Gillis and Tasha Ovens. Play will get underway with possession to the Lions and Rose Holloman, who had 4 points to half-time after 42 in game 1 and 17 in game 2. Just 4 today so far. Still with 20 minutes to go. Talon Reedy under the basket. Looks for and finds Steph Van Leeuwen off the back of the ring. Cleaned up by Vinci. Vinci to Gillis. And we've got a rogue ball coming onto the court, so we'll stop the clock. And Perth will keep control of the ball, but it'll be from the sideline after a ball rolled in from ultimately what is the practice court. Referees stressing to the spectators over on court 1 to try and keep control of the ball that they're playing with. Not going to stop them from playing, but just try and keep control of it. Meanwhile, back here on the main court, the show court, Georgia Inglis has the ball, inbound pass to Vinci, who's fouled in the act of shooting. And foul on Hannah Dodd. So Vinci will go to the line. Vinci and Dodd, one-time teammates in the Australian Gliders. Vinci makes the first. A bit of a chuckle and laugh to Hannah Dodd, and over to her left. Makes 2 from 2 from Sarah. And the scoring's underway in the second half. 25 points to 18. Dodd now with the ball for the Lions. Brings the ball out to the right-hand side. Long-range shot from her. Takes her tally to 12. 25 points to the Wheelcats. 20 points to the Lions, and 12 of those 20 have come from the hand of Hannah Dodd. This is Tasha Ovens in the front court now, looking for and finding Georgia Inglis. Inglis out just inside the three-point arc, finds Gillis. Gillis gets herself ready for a shot. It misses. It's cleaned up by Rose Holloman. Holloman has Reedy as a tow truck, if you like, leading the way through, trying to clear space. Now she's double-teamed, which leaves Reedy open. And even more open is Tracy Carruthers, drops it in for 2 to be the second leading scorer for the Lions, behind Dodd's 12. Carruthers now with 6. Ovens, the quick inbound pass to Stevenson, through her hands and cleaned up by Holloman. Holloman for the Lions, confronted by both Ovens and Stevenson. Gets the ball into the front court through Van Leeuwen to Reedy to Dodd, and Carruthers misses one from the left side. Cleaned up by the Wheelcats, and the pace of Inglis is enough to get around Tracy Carruthers with a little bit of help from Stevenson. Into the front court, finds Ovens off the glass for 2. Holloman with the inbound pass. Bounces it to Hannah Dodd. Dodd going mid-court now. Looking for options. Holloman pulls up on the right-hand side. Provides a nice screen. She's double-teamed. Gets 2 Wheelcats players out of the way. Ball finds its way to Carruthers on the left side from her favourite shooting spot and puts another 2 in. Closes the gap to just 3 now from the 5 it was at half-time. Inglis now with ball for the belt-up Perth Wheelcats to Stevenson. Off the glass, can't go, looks for it, almost gets her own rebound. Stolen away from Hannah Dodd. Releases Carruthers, and then the speeds to Holloman. Holloman left-hand side. Has Reedy going baseline, doesn't use her. Instead uses Carruthers from just inside the free throw line. Is short on the shot and bounces out of court. Inglis now with the inbound pass. Looks for and finds Stevens. Confronted by Dodd. Ovens provides the screen for Inglis to get away from Dodd. Inbound pass to Gillis inside. Vincent's pass can't find Vincey and bounces out of court. Still a 3-point game, 3.5 gone in this third period. The Bendat Basketball Centre with Hannah Dodd now in control of the ball for the Sydney Uni Lions. They had a good weekend. They've won the first 2 games. Looking to make it a sweep. It's a second travel call on Hannah Dodd. One in the first half, now one in the second. Defensive pressure, forcing the error. Inglis to Ovens. We've got a player down. We'll restart that. Looks like it might be Ebony Stevenson who's turned turtle on the far side of the court. She'll unstrap herself, and looks like she's going to be subbed out anyway. Amber Merritt wheels in. She has been subbed out, so she'll wheel herself and walk herself off the court. Don't often see that in a wheelchair basketball game, but Eb Stevenson will come away with some bruises. A lot of fans in the house for Eb Stevenson. And she makes her way back to the bench behind the Sydney Uni Lions bench in the score table. Meanwhile, the game is back underway with the inbound pass finding Ovens. Ovens' pass is blocked by Van Leeuwen. Back to Ovens, who finds Vincey for 2. Hannah Dodd once more, the ball controller. She's leading this team. She's not only the captain but also the assistant coach to Alan Cox. The on-court general, if you like, for the Sydney Uni Lions. Holloman, inside pass, Talon Reedy. Off the ring, it's a friendly roll. It's back to 3 points, 29-26. Inglis now rolling the ball into the front court as we head towards halfway into this third period at the Bendat Basketball Centre. It'll be a second foul to go with a couple of travel calls. A restart for the Wheelcats. in control of the ball. Inglis, baseline, looks for and finds Merritt just in front of the free throw line. Can't get the shot to fall. Holloman did enough on the shot from from Gillis to knock it away, and the ball rolls out of court. So just 8 seconds left on this particular shot clock. 5:16 left in the third period, and it's a Perth Wheelcats ball from the side. Ovens now gets the ball into Inglis. Inglis looking for options. It's confronted by Dodd. He seems to be everywhere. Steph Van Leeuwen picks off the pass intended for Vincey. Releases Dodd into the backcourt, looking for a way into the front. Gets there just in time. Van Leeuwen provides an option. This time Talon Reedy looking for help. Gets it from Hannah Dodd. Reedy's got two in front of her, which leaves player open. And it wouldn't happen to be Rose Holloman, would it? Yes, it is. Gets it to Carruthers. Merritt forces a jump ball. And the ball in favour of the Wheelcats, because the second half was started in possession with the Sydney Uni. So good defensive work from Amber Merritt to prevent Carruthers from getting that ball away, getting the shot away, and forcing the jump ball. So Perth now in control of the ball with a 3-point lead. 4:30 left in the third period. Merritt now from the elbow, wheels away. Has Vincey providing cover, long range shot, falls short. Holloman on the rebound. Gets the ball into the front court. She's got players left and right. Dodd on the left, off the glass, can't get it. Rose Holloman. Looks like she's been fouled on the rebound. That'll be Amber Merritt wearing the foul. Substitutions. Stevenson's going to roll back in, and Laura Gillis takes a rest. Tracy Volmer coming in for Tracy Carruthers for the Sydney Uni Lions. Dodd. Holloman, the American Paralympian, playing in our Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League. Shooting's off today for Holloman. That one hits the back of the ring and rolls around and bounces out. It's cleaned up by the defence of the Wheelcats. This is Inglis now into the front court. Looks for and finding Merritt. Merritt, nothing but net. Takes the lead back up to 5 as it was at half-time. 8 points apiece in this third quarter as we've kicked past 6.5 minutes. It's a very low-scoring affair to quarter time. If you're just joining us, 6 points to 4 in favour of the Wheelcats. It was 5 points at half-time, 23-18. Still 5 points now, 31-26. 3.5 left. Left in the third period, I beg your pardon, of this Beluga Foundation Wheelchair Basketball Australia event here in Perth, WA. The last game of a big weekend, doubleheader weekend for both men's and women's basketball in Perth. The Perth Wheelcat men's side coming away this weekend with a 2-1 series win over the Southern District Spartan. The Sydney Uni Lions in the women's have won the first 2 games, but the Wheelcats have found their mojo in game 3. Now leading by 7 with Vincey's basket, 33-26. Dodd, cross court to Holloman. Stevenson knocks the pass away, intended for Reedy. Holloman looking for Reedy under the basket, but Stevenson reaching in, getting the last touch, knocking it out of court. Hannah Dodd has Reedy this time. No, goes over the top of Reedy to Holloman. Holloman, way deep on the left-hand side, takes a long-range shot and gets a friendly roll. 33-28.
With the number plate BY950K, please come to the front desk. That's BY950K.
Loving the PA coming straight through over the top of the commentary. From the Wheelcats, bouncing away and cleaned up by the Sydney Uni Lions. Holloman looking to get the ball in the front court, has Volmer. Reedy is open on the wing. Holloman now wheels around, looking for a shot from the right-hand side this time. Doesn't go. Cleaned up by Merritt. Merritt releases Inglis. Inglis with Vinci as cover. Gets going to her left. Merritt to the right. Ovens coming into the keyway now. Waiting for the pass. Doesn't come. Pass intended for Merritt. And as tall as she is, she couldn't drag that one in. Out of court. So inside the last 2 minutes of this third period. Hannah Dodd gets the ball back in to Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen back to Dodd. And we're underway into the front court. A minute 40 left to three-quarter time. Dodd confronted by Vinci. With a bit of help from Reedy out on the left side. Looking for and missing Volmer over the top. Cleaned up by Holloman out the back. And her shot bounces away off the ring. Merritt now, a little tap over. Can't regain control of the ball. Talon Reedy cleans up in defence for the Lions. Help from Holloman to Dodd. Van Leeuwen now, confronted by Vinci. Holloman now wheeling around the left. Looks for and finds Hannah Dodd. That shot's off the mark. And it bounces safely away into the hands of Vinci. Through Inglis to Ovens. Is trying hard to get control of the ball. Couldn't get control without releasing to Rose Holloman. Holloman now into the front court. At the free throw line. Has an open Volmer. By Vinci. Bounce pass. Couldn't find Merritt. Instead, Hannah Dodd picks that pass off. And now on the right-hand side, we have Uni in control of the ball. The referee spotting what they wanted was a reset of the shot clock. It's reset to 21. 34 seconds left in the period. Hannah Dodd now has Volmer. 3 seconds. It's a second 3-second violation by the Sydney Uni Lions. So the Wheelcats now, with that 5-point margin that they had at halftime intact, coming up to three-quarter time with less than 20 seconds left. Amber Merritt looking to make it 7. Uses Inglis. Inglis caught by Dodd, out keeping her deep. Ovens wheels into the keyway. And before she can get a shot off, we've got a player down on the court. And hard to believe, but it's Ebony Stevenson again. The second or third time that Eb's been down on the floor. Throwing everything into this game. And we're back into the chair. Now we just need to strap those legs back in. So lap straps are done, the knee straps getting done now, and strap the toes in as well. With 6.7 seconds left, 0.7 of a differential between the game clock and the shot clock. And it'll be the Perth Wheelcats looking to increase their 5-point margin to 7, or hold that 5-point margin. Ovens takes the shot, it bounces away, and that will be it for three-quarter time. So 10 points apiece in the third quarter, and the 5-point margin that the Wheelcats had at the long break remains intact. 33 to 28 for the Wheelcats, leading the way from scoring perspective. Ebony Stevenson still has 10 points. Amber Merritt with 4. Georgia Inglis with 4, Laura Gillis with 4, 3 points to Tasha Ovens, and 8 points to Sarah Vinci. That'll make the 33 for the Sydney Uni Lions. 12 points to Hannah Dodd, leads the way from there. 28. There's 8 points to Tracy Carruthers, 6 points to Rose Holloman, and then a couple to Talon Reid. As we go down the page, that'll be the full complement by the look of it. 18, 26, 28. Yes, that's the way that's the tail of the tape at halftime. 33 points to 28. Just 10 minutes left of Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League for the weekend. Thanks to the Beluga Foundation, wheelchair basketball being brought to you all season long. And you can go to the Wheelchair Basketball on socials, just whichever platform you're on, whether it be Insta or Facebook. Just type in your search engine, Wheelchair Basketball Australia, and you'll find us there. You can join us, follow the group on either platform, and get all the news, views, and updates, pictorially and otherwise. Or if you're not on the socials, but you are on the interweb, wba.net.au, wba.net.au. You'll find links to both National Wheelchair Basketball League for the men's and Women's National Wheelchair Basketball League for the women. All the news, views, and statistics, category leaders, ladders, upcoming fixtures, results of the season so far, and even links to vision of the live stream games throughout the season. This game coming into you from the Bender Basketball Centre, where it's the rain has suddenly just got heavier outside. Sydney Uni Lions going to be in control of the ball to start this game. It'll be Hannah Dad to restart the last period of basketball, with Rose Holloman with the ball now. Has 6 points in this game after a big weekend of 42 in the first, 17 in the second. The Wheelcats have done a sterling job defensively on her today in game 3 to prevent the major scoring coming from the three-time Paralympic player, three-time medalist at the Paralympic Games for Team USA in Rose Holloman. Just 6 points out of the 28. No score in this last quarter so far. Still a 5-point game to the Perth Wheelcats, as Taysha Ovens' efforts to keep the ball in play were futile as she wheeled out of court before putting a hand on the ball. So Sydney Uni with the ball now. The Lions with Talon Reedy had the ball knocked away from Taysha Ovens, who picks up their own steal and now confronted by Hannah Dodd. Little lob pass over the top to Inglis, and El Qasem decides, I'll take that. Rima El Qasem starting this final period for the Sydney Uni Lions. Nice little steal. Flick the ball out of the hands of Georgia Inglis. Now the ball's with Rose Holloman. Holloman wheeling around to the left side. Wants the long-range shot. Puts it up and hits the front of the ring. Bounces away towards the sideline, and El Qasem can't get the ball back into play. So no score just yet in a minute and a half of this final period. It's still 33-28. Lots of good defensive, hands in the face, knocking the ball away. And a lovely steal from Rima El Qasem out of the hands of Georgia Inglis not so long ago. As the rain continues to pound down on the roof here at the Bendat Basketball Centre, Ebony Stevenson continues her scoring streak. And Eb moves up now to 12 points to match Hannah Dodd as the game high scorers. This is Dodd with the ball, confronted by Inglis. Now Laura Gillis gets in the face of Hannah Dodd, looks for El Qasem out at the low post. She's confronted by Sarah Vinci, does try and put her off, but El Qasem gets the ball in the hole, looking for a way to get back into the game. She's confronted by Gillis, who keeps her out of the game. Very nicely done by the tall Wheelcat. Meanwhile, Ovens brings the ball into the front court. Rose Holloman knocks that pass away, and it'll go out of court, untouched by anyone else. Last hand's Rose Holloman, so the Wheelcats will have the ball in the front court with 10 seconds remaining on this particular play. Inglis now takes the shot and puts it in for seven-point margin as we close down this weekend of wheelchair basketball here for Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Hannah Dodd looking for Talon Reedy, who knocks in 2 more and brings that 5-point margin back into play. 7 and a bit minutes left in this final period. It is the Wheelcats who took the lead late in the first period and have held it ever since. Win for the weekend over the Sydney Uni Lions. Laura Gillis drops in a couple to get that margin back out to 7. A low-scoring affair here, but highly entertaining. 39 points to 32. For those watching on, if they can just see in the far side of the periphery of the court, the former Australian national coach in Tom Kyle is in the building as part of the coaching staff for the Southern District. Basketball knowledge. Shot from Tayshar Ovens. In the act of shooting from the outside, El Qasem wearing that foul. Tayshar Ovens will go to the line, taking the 2. Holloman says, I'll go out to the right side. You take the left to El Qasem. So Holloman will look to box out from the low post out on the right-hand side as the Wheelcats are facing. Ovens misses the first, hits the back of the ring and bounces away. 1 left. 7-point ball game at the moment. Ovens has 2 from 4 from the free throw line, and they are her only points of the game. But she's doing a massive job in defence, and she has the work to do now. With Stevenson, double teams Holloman, forces Holloman to go wide. Dodd looking for an option. Not going to get caught with another travel. This time Dodd does find Holloman out on the left wing, and a friendly roll sees Holloman get another 2 points and narrow the gap to 6 now, 40 points to 34. Inglis now, ball in her lap for the Perth Wheelcats, looking for the laneway. It opens up for her, and he's fouled again, and this time, and that's Rima El Qasem with 2 fouls very quickly against her. Sent Ovens to the line just a few seconds ago. Now she's sending Inglis to the line. Inglis sets up. Deep breath. Throws it up. And doesn't quite fall. Rolls around the back of the ring and then bounces away. Second shot now. From 10 feet away. The right arm shot hits the front of the ring this time. Rebounded by Stevenson to Gillis. And Gillis drops it in for 2. Hannah Dodd now, her team's leading scorer. Looking for an option, goes right side. It hits the back of the ring from her angle and bounces safely down into the safe hands of Georgia Inglis, who wheels the ball out the right-hand side. She doesn't have any Lions players in her face. Now confronted by Steph Van Leeuwen. Ovens is out on the right. Can she bring that ball into the play? No. Ball knocked away by the Lions. So we're left with 9 seconds for the Wheelcats to get a shot away. Inglis does get that shot away. Again, once more hits the front of the ring and bounces off to Rose Holloman. Holloman now looking for options, surveying the court in front of her. Chairs everywhere. Takes the long-range shot, hits the front of the ring. Would have been a nice 3-pointer. Cleaned up from the pinballing of the ball by Holloman, who has Steph Van Leeuwen under the ring. Her shot can't go. Gillis cleans up. Gillis's pass looking for Inglis is cut off by Holloman. Holloman to Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen from the elbow passes the ball back to El Qasem for the long-range shot at the top of the arc, and it clears everyone and bounces out of court. Still an 8-point ball game, 42-34, 4.5 to go in this game. The Perth Wheelcats have been fairly much in control. I wouldn't say confidently in control, but fairly in control of this game since the latter part of the first period. A low-scoring first quarter, 6 points to 4. Gillis now under the basket, gets another 2. Gillis coming to the party, getting some more scores on the board. She takes her scoring up to double figures now. Moves into the doubles with 10 points. Looks like Tracy Carruthers looking to come back in. Shot from Talon Reedy with a couple more. Georgia Inglis now bringing the ball into the front court for the belt-up Perth Wheelcats. Looking for and finding Stevenson. Stevenson off the glass for 2 more. Stevenson There's 14 points on the game. She is the game high scorer. Hannah Dodd for the Lions has 12. This is Holloman. Holloman now from long range. It's the back of the ring and rolls away. Stevenson cleans up. Releases Inglis into the front court. Chased down by Holloman. Forces Inglis to go right and pull up. Looking for help. Has Ovens at the top of the keyway. Will she take the three-point shot? No. She flicks it out to Inglis, who casually wheels in and hits the front of the ring and it bounces away. Holloman now with the clean-up for the Lions. El Qasem providing the screen into the front court. Holloman confronted by Stevenson. It's been a great matchup that all day. Inglis flicks out, or picks off the intended pass. It was intended for Hannah Dodd. Doesn't reach her. Dodd now defending under the basket. El Qasem with the defensive board. Picks it up and releases Holloman. 1-on-2. Holloman on Ovens and Inglis. Now some help arrives in the form of Van Leeuwen. Holloman held up. Across the court to Dodd. Dodd back into the keyway. El Qasem. So we're going to be called another 3-second keyway violation. Substitutions coming for the Sydney Uni Lions. Tracy Carruthers coming on, and for the first time today, Trish Luff gets her first chance. We saw her, if you were watching a little earlier, in the 3x3 game before this. But Trish Luff is on court for her first minutes of this game. And she confronts Sarah Vinci. Laura Gillis provides a screen. It is a 10-point ball game at the moment. Vinci looking to make it a 12-point game. Reedy cleans up for the Lions. Releases Dodd. Dodd down the left side. Inbound pass, 1-on-none for Holloman. That's the easiest basket she's going to get today. And that will take Holloman into double figures, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look at the stat sheet. Yes, she's now up to 10 points. So a big weekend for the American Paralympian. Coming into today's game, she had 59 points across 2 games. And now she's up to double figures again. So 69 points for the 3. You can work out the average of that. But it's big over the points per game this weekend. This is Carruthers. Carruthers corralled by Gillis. Gillis looks for Ovens, can't find her, and that ball bounces out of court. So Sydney Uni Lions with the ball. Dodd to Holloman. Holloman just inside the three-point arc. Luff with her first shot and points. Where's she been all this game? Trish Luff, first shot, first points. Brings the gap back down to 6, 46-40 in favour of the home side. The belt up Perth Wheelcats. Holloman forcing the lob pass from Inglis to Stevenson to Vinci and 2 points. And restores the 8-point margin with 43 seconds left in the game. It will take a minor miracle for the Lions to tie this up, let alone win it from here, but stranger things happen in the game of basketball. Hannah Dodd and Rose Holloman out on court. Dodd looks for and finds Reedy. Reedy back to Dodd. Dodd to Holloman. Holloman left side. She puts it up, hits the front of the ring, bounces away. Trish Luff doesn't get the shot to go. She's 1 from 2. She's on the scoreboard with her first score of the day. This is Vinci now, confronted by Talon Reedy. Georgia Inglis now, winding the clock down. There's just 8 seconds left. This might be it. I don't think we'll even take the shot. 3 seconds. Holloman changes into the front court. And the Perth Wheelcats come out of the weekend with a win from 3 after one big win on Saturday morning. Well, sorry, Saturday night. No, Saturday morning it was, beg your pardon. The 64-34 win. Then Saturday night, last night, it was a 4-point win to the Sydney Lions, 46-42. And redemption, if you like, to the Wheelcats today. 48 points to 40. Led by the shooting of Ebony Stevenson. Ebony Stevenson, a superstar today. 14 points to her. 10 points apiece to Laura Gillis and Sarah Vinci. For the Sydney Uni Lions, Hannah Dodd, 40 minutes on court, 12 points. 10 points to Rose Holloman. And a 2-1 series to the Sydney Uni Lions from the Bendat Basketball Centre for the Beluga Foundation and Wheelchair Basketball Australia. Thank you very much for your company today and over the weekend. We'll catch you next time. We're playing wheelchair basketball. Good afternoon.